Hey everybody, thanks for watching The Great Green Room. My name is Julia. Today we're going to be looking at His Royal Highness King Baby, A Terrible True Story, written by Sally Lloyd-Jones and illustrated by David Roberts. This book, which also doubles as the personal diary of the plucky young narrator, the princess of the household, is all about how things used to be before the arrival of the terrible tyrant, the usurper, King Baby. The princess of the house chronicles the tyrant's reign until the day of his first birthday, a terrible day in which the poor princess has to get her own breakfast and dress in terrible rags and clean up her own room just like a servant girl, and carry all the groceries at the store. Meanwhile, His Royal Highness, the spoiled King Baby, gets pampered all day long, and when everyone comes for the party, they only pay attention to him and not her. And she draws all about it in her journal, and she decides to tell all the guests the terrible true story of how she's been mistreated all day. Until His Royal Highness has a terrible tantrum, and the princess of the household realizes that she is the only one who can take care of the problem. And in the end, she decides that maybe it's not so bad to have a little tyrant king as a baby brother. And she'll draw all about it in her book, and also eat his cake for him, since he can't eat it himself. This book is a lot of fun. It's told in a very bright, personable style. I feel like everybody pretty much knows a child who is like this. The sort of everyone is my best friend right away. Even if you're a stranger and I don't really know you, you're still my best friend kind of kid. And even if we didn't have the illustrations, I think you could picture pretty accurately what this narrator is like. Happily, we don't have to picture because we have David Roberts' excellent illustrations. David Roberts, I've talked about him before. He did the illustrations for, wow, I'm blanking on the title of the book. He's done illustrations for other books that I've talked about on this channel. The Pig and the Pauper? Is it called The Pig and the Pauper? I think that's what it's called. I'll put a link to it up here. He's also done the illustrations for a really excellent series of books. Ada Twist Scientist, Rosie Revere Engineer, and Iggy Peck Architect, which I can't describe with any justice in this video, but I will definitely make a video about in the future. Just a really, really good illustrator. I am pretty convinced at this point that he never illustrates a bad book. Sometimes I will look at a picture book and the story won't be much. The illustrations will be great, but the story just doesn't match them. That's never the case with any of David Roberts' books. He always illustrates really fantastic books, and the illustrations and the story always match really well. I'm not an artist. I don't know anything about color theory, but it seems to me that his palette is always like daring in a way that maybe wouldn't work, but always does. Lots of drab colors mixed with lots of bright colors. Very like mid-centuries, like maybe even 70s. That's very, like, he does that a lot with his illustrations. That's very typical of his stuff. I really like the way he incorporates what is supposed to be the narrator princess's diary and her illustrations of her day-to-day life with his own illustrations up here in like a comic book style. That works really well. It makes the narrator and the story like really come to life, and is very charming. I really liked this book a lot. I liked everything about it, and I'm definitely going to give it a 5. I encourage you to check out His Royal Highness King Baby right away. As always, I always want to hear about the picture books that you've read that you liked and didn't like. Thanks for watching The Great Green Room, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.